Hey guys, welcome into this 5 minute morning devotion. Thankful you're joining me today. I hope that all of you are having a blessed week so far. Um, we are going to talk today about servanthood. Um, you and I are going to serve something. And so we want to make sure that we're serving the right thing. And Luke 16, verse 13 tells us in the Amplified Version, no servant can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will stand devotedly by the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and mammon. That is, your earthly possessions or anything else you trust in and rely on instead of God. Now, this scripture verse is often quoted in among church people because it's center focusing us back to our what should be our main focus, and that is God. Um, but I've always heard it talked about, um, solely talked about when you talk about God and mammon. That word mammon there is in representation to riches or wealth or money, things of that nature. But in reality, mammon is anything that is an earthly possession or anything you trust in, put your faith in instead of God. And so the Lord was talking to his disciples, and he's giving them dialogue, and he's communicating with them, and he's telling them, you can't serve two masters. Now, what this implies is that each of us will have a master. We're going to serve something by default. You're either going to serve your flesh, which is what the devil, your enemy, would like for you to do, or you're going to serve the Lord. You're going to deny yourself, as Jesus would tell his disciples, anyone that's going to follow me must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow me. And so you're going to serve something. And a lot of times it's so easy for us, if we're not careful, to put our faith and trust in things we can see, things that we can tangibly touch. That was the problem with Israel. When Moses went to Mount Sinai and was getting the commandments from God to instruct the children of Israel how they were to conduct their lives, live their lives, he was getting the law, as you will, from God on the commandment tablets. Well, he was gone 40 days. Well, their representation of God, which was Moses, because that was all they had ever known, their connection to God was Moses. Well, now he's gone, and they don't know what, the Bible even says, we don't know what's become of him. And so they command Aaron to make a golden calf. Now they need another representation to be God. So they make a golden calf, and they begin to worship that golden calf just like they worship God when they come out of Egypt. And Aaron even said, this is the God that brought you out of Egypt. And so there's all this perverseness going on in idolatry, and it is because by default we are going to serve something. And normally our flesh says we must give attention to, or more attention to, that of which we can taste, feel, hear, smell, appeals to our senses, our natural senses. And so here the Lord is telling them, you're going to have to make up your mind what you're going to serve. Now, having money and having possessions and all of these different things, there's nothing wrong with that, but is it your God? That's what Jesus is saying here. Is it your God? Because if it's your God, I can't be your God. But if I'm your God and all of these other things come second place, I can bless you with those things as long as I know that it's not priority and it's not your God. As long as you keep me first, the blessings will flow in every area of your life. And so what I'm trying to tell us today is this, is that just as it says, I believe it's in 2 Corinthians, that we are to walk by faith and not by sight. Because our natural man says, lean on what you can hear, smell, see, taste, touch. That's what you lean on. But when walking with God, you have to rely on him. You have to rely upon your spiritual senses, and those things only come from God. Be led by the Spirit. Walk in the Spirit. You cannot walk in the flesh and walk in the Spirit at the same time. You have to submit the flesh to the Spirit and walk after the Spirit. And if you'll walk after the Spirit and you'll serve God, God will provide for you the things that you need provision on. But not only that, God will also protect you by making you sensitive to the Spirit, and He will help guide you through life and help you make better choices because you are serving Him. So I tell us today on this Wednesday, let's serve God. Let's lay down all the other things that may be taking priority over Him, and let's put Him back in the focus of everything we're doing, and let's let everything else fall secondary and let it be blessed by Him because we've kept Him first.